Okay, you're good.
Hey, everybody say who's here. Lee Wessler's here.
Crystal Adams is here.
Ruby Sinkowski is here.
Jean Pillow is here.
Beth Bernard is here.
Mara Roby is here.
Okay. I don't see any
And
alternates.
myself, Grace, I'm sorry, yeah.
And Dawn had a letter from the
see-
Open Space Committee is here as well.
Thanks, Dawn.
4, 5.
No alternates to seat.
Is it Ruby? Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Ruby.
Hey, Grace, I don't see public participation on our agenda here.
Yeah, I know, messed that one up.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
We'll have to
Dawn,
add it.
Dawn, we always start with public participation, so you're on.
Oh, would you? Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. That's, I was going to wait to the open space, but this is even better. So I'm asking actually for a formal vote from the Conservation Commission. The Open Space Committee is recommending that we purchase the development rights of Maple Crest Farm, which has frontage on Route 169 and backs up behind Valley Side Farm. It's about 140 acres, and 111 acres are soils that are prime or of local estate importance. This is owned by the Young family. They've been using it as support land for Valley Side Farm Dairy for a long time now. They've owned the property for the past 3 years, and it's been in line for PDR for 2.5. So we're very happy to finally bring this to a town vote. I did distribute talking points and a map, but I'll be happy to answer any questions. Grace, on behalf of you, I put map, block, and lot numbers on the talking points so that you could record that, or whoever is secretary these days.
Yeah, that's unfortunately me.
Okay, no, luckily it's
Thank
you.
you.
Luckily it's you.
Do you have the talking points on your device that you're speaking on? You can share the screen.
Perhaps one could do that.
Okay.
There you go.
But I did, I sent them to Lee so he can redistribute them to the rest of the members for the committee.
Dawn, can you just, because I haven't seen those talking points, sorry, but can you
Okay.
give us a rundown of the property, what's found there, any ecological, points, interests? Points of interest,
It's been active farmland for the past, since it was one of their first farmed properties. So we'll give it a roundup and say 1700. This has been active farmland. The point is that it's being preserved as an agricultural resource. It's not being preserved as necessarily wildlife habitat. The Conservation Commission weighs in on this, in that the protection of this farm to be continued to be used as farmland is in compliance with the Plan of Conservation and Development. The most recent,
Plan of Open Space and Conservation, which it is compatible with.
the most recent POCD, which was in 2012, still was specifically listing the protection of agricultural lands to be continued to be used as agricultural lands, including forestry, as a primary concern for the town.
Would
This will
anybody like to
be-
see a map to show where that parcel is, the farm is?
Do I know where it is?
No, does anybody need to see a map? I could bring them up.
I would love to.
Okay.
If someone can put it up, thank you.
Can you do that, Jean?
I can.
Okay. And then
Dawn,
and then I can talk about it.
Dawn, I don't see where I got the talking points.
Did I
Just
not
check my
attach them? I'm very sorry. I apologize for that. I can redistribute them to you tomorrow if you like, or even right after the meeting.
I'm waiting for the NECOG map to come up. 16. Okay.
So
switch
Does
on.
anyone have any questions for Dawn?
The parcel is, it comes out, part of it fronts on 169. It's just south of the Christmas barn, for people who know where the
Oh,
Christmas
okay.
barn is. And it's south of that big barn that says Maple Crest on it. The property that we're talking about, though, does not include the barn, and it does not include the historic farmhouse that is associated with this property. The Franks, who owned the property, let's see. Yeah,
That's not it.
that's about it, but you've got a little bit more. Yeah, that's it. That's the parcel there. So you can see this is, I'm pointing to my screen, like you can all see what I'm pointing at. 169 clips the corner off, the lower left corner of the parcel. Yes, thank you, Jean. That's Route 169 there. If you continue to run up a little north on 169, you encounter, yes, the remaining portions of the Frink farm. The parcel to the, where this corner is scooped out on the right side, the upper right side, is the Young's property. So it abuts land that's already in the PDR program. You
This
know
is
what?
the
That's
piece
not
that
right.
comes-
That's the, no, that's town land right there. And the Young's property is down on the lower right side. So that's town land. And right,
That's the piece that town sold to them. right?
that,
Oh, that didn't
they
get
have not,
transferred?
no, it has not gone to sale yet. We've approved it, but it just hasn't moved forward yet. We've recommended it. You guys signed off on it.
Oh, okay.
The sale has not been called for whatever reasons. But that, the parcel just, yes, the one where the arrow is on right now, that's Valley Side Farm. Yep.
So it's a nice addition to the cluster of agricultural valley
Yes.
that we have in Woodstock, with this one being in PDR, this one being in
In PDR, and the property just to the, and the property just to the north of it? No, not there, one more over. Nope, there you go. That's the maze. And
That's
that's,
the maze.
and that's in PDR.
And the Peckhams,
The Peckhams own a parcel, that kind of L-shaped parcel there, to the right of the maze. There you go. That's Matt's. And that's protected. The square that you're looking at is the former Newman farm.
PDR stands for what?
The protection of development rights, it's run through the Connecticut.
PDR too?
I'm sorry, what?
Come on.
It-
Oh, okay.
It's, yes, it's run through the Connecticut Department of Agriculture in our state. So there's an office that deals specifically with this program. It's funded through the USDA NRCS. Farm bill money goes into this. The state has a significant funding for these types of programs. What they don't have is the staff to make these things go through in a timely fashion. And that's why they've been delaying as long as they have.
Did I understand you, Don, correctly, that then each parcel is, if it was farmed, then when you take it over, it's farmed?
It continues to be private property, which is an important thing to understand. As you all know, parcels of land come with a whole bunch of different kinds of rights, gravel rights, mineral rights, water rights, and development rights. And what this program does is purchase the development rights, and they have a cash value. Assessors and appraisers come in and determine what the cash value is for each specific property based on a variety of criteria. They make an offer to the landowner hopefully accepts it, and then the rights are sold. Over the past few years, the town has been asked to contribute to these projects, and we've been contributing up to 25% of the total cost. This will cost the town up to $65,000. And that money comes specifically from the town's open space fund. That's a designated fund. That's the only thing the money can be used for. It can't be transferred to anything else. We have adequate funding in it right now. So it's just the Board of Finance, I'm on their agenda for 2 weeks from now. Is somebody asking a question?
I would like to continue asking that. So
Sure.
the development, so
Mhm.
the town is buying the development rights.
Correct.
And what do they plan on developing there?
No. We are buying development rights and placing a conservation easement on the land, which means the land may not be developed. There's usually a house lot and a building, if you will, envelope, which permits agricultural buildings to be constructed and sometimes a residence. In this case, there will be no building envelope because it'll be contiguous to this other property. And they didn't want to carve out a building residential lot on it. They wanted to protect the entire parcel. So
It won't be farmed then?
it will be farmed. It will be farmed. Absolutely. It will stay in agriculture. That's the point of this program, is to reduce some of the pressures on agricultural land, to make sure agricultural land is protected in perpetuity as much as anything can be protected in perpetuity. This particular project is really good because there will be 3 separate entities holding the easement on the property: the town of Woodstock, the Connecticut Department of Agriculture, and the USDA NRCS. So in order for that for that easement to be released, all 3 of those entities would have to agree to it.
And is there a plan for the farming of that? Is there, do you know what's going to be farmed there?
They're going to continue to use it as dairy support.
Dairy.
In our state, in Connecticut, they don't care how you're going to use it for. Well, I won't say that. They don't like nurseries to be on PDR land because the soil is removed. They don't let sod farms be on PDR land because the topsoil is removed. Other states approach it differently. Rhode Island lets you have nurseries and sod farms. Massachusetts actually requires that you put in writing an agricultural plan and you commit to continue to use it for agricultural purposes, and you can be fined if you don't continue to farm it. Connecticut does not do that. Connecticut just says you can't sell it to a developer. You can sell it to another farmer. You can sell it to your kids. You can sell it to anybody, and they just can't develop it. And so the land is always available for future farming.
It's to preserve the agricultural potential of the soil that's so important and in such limited supply in the state of Connecticut, but we're blessed with in Woodstock. The brown and yellow on the map, this is Jean speaking, shows the prime agricultural soils on the property. In brown and yellow are the statewide important farm soils. And unfortunately, this database has not been updated to include locally important farm soils. So there could be locally important farm soils on here. I don't know. I know we have that designation, but it didn't get updated in the GIS.
And other when our friends down in Brooklyn did the soil maps, they indeed found local soils as well. And I want to thank you, Jean, because you pushed so hard to get Woodstock local soils mapped out, whether or not this particular map shows them. And that there are still other towns in Connecticut that don't have their local soils identified, and we score a little higher because we do. So thank you for making that happen.
So would this land then be used for local dairy farmers if they?
It will remain private property. The Young family will continue to own it, and they're the only people who can determine what happens to it within the parameters of the limitations of the easement. Their plan, this is part of their long-term sustainability plan. They know that it's getting prohibitively costly to drive all over Woodstock, Pomfret, Brooklyn looking for land to farm. And so they keep trying to get land that's right next to them. This will give them over 300 acres of contiguous, very good dairy land that's right outside their back door. So, and again, they already own the land. They're just making sure that it's protected forever.
And they have a dairy?
They do have a dairy. It's called Valleyside Farm. And if you don't recognize that name, you might know about Angela's Yogurt. Because
Woodstock Creamery?
Woodstock Creamery, right? That's on Valleyside Farm, right? So if you're a fan of Angela's Yogurt, land is going to feed the cows that make the milk that Angela uses to make the yogurt.
Also, Lucas Young, who's the manager of the farm,
Yes,
is a soil health champion.
yes, he is award winning.
Yeah. So, I mean, he really works hard to bring in the newest practices to reduce his costs, but as a side effect, also reduce the impacts on the environment. I've worked with on the farm doing experiments with their permission, and they're a great family.
Yeah,
So the benefit to the landowner who's selling this,
development, right?
an easement,
Correct.
is that they then can get like the monies to
Yes,
assist them.
yes.
Which
And the
they
benefit
often
of the
reinvest in the
town
farm.
But it's also at a cost to them. You cannot underestimate the significant contribution protecting farm families are making, because selling the development rights never comes close to selling the land outright. And so, if they were just looking for cash, they could just sell the land. So they want to be able to protect the property, and this gives them a vehicle for doing it. It also reduces their equity. So it means that they have to be even better at making business plans and determining how they can best run their farm, because a bank can no longer come in and say, well, you can fit 60 houses in here, so we'll give you X number of dollars. Because that can no longer happen. So it's not something that they go into lightly. They have to think about it. They have to plan. They have to do it wisely. And the Youngs have done it very, very wisely. This will be the third parcel that the Young family has protected.
Very cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
I make a
And that's
motion
awesome.
that we approve the expense of the town to up to $65,000 to contribute towards the easement on this property.
But that's not what I'm asking you to do, because you can't approve the expense to the town. The Board of Finance can't approve releasing the funds. Only a town meeting can approve the expense to the town. What Conservation Commission has to do is say, yes, this project is in compliance with the plan of conservation and development. That's what I need. Those are the words that I need from you guys.
Okay, I move that we vote to agree that this
Maple Crest Farm project.
Maple Crest Farm project is compatible with the goals of the Plan of Open Space and Conservation and the town's Plan of Conservation and Development. And I move that we support this project.
That was Jean.
This is Crystal Adams, and I second that.
Is there any discussion, any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion passes.
Thank you all. I've lost you. I hope you can still
We
hear
can
me.
see you.
Oh, you can? Okay, I just can't
Yeah.
see you. Normally, for those of you who have been around this block before, but I know we have 2 new members here. Normally, after we go to all the committees that have to sign off on this, the Board of Selectmen call a town meeting, and we all get together and vote on it. normally we're not in the middle of a COVID crisis and having meetings like Zoom. So they're all still trying to figure out how we can have a town meeting to vote on this. So I don't know when you'll all be getting a little reminder to vote. But I do sincerely hope it's before the end of the year, the calendar year. But
Well,
if you're-
interestingly,
Half year so far.
Dawn, on that note, they're opening up downstairs for flu shots in September. So maybe there's hope.
Yeah, but they can control that there's not more than 6 people in a room at a time for flu shots. They can't do that for a
Oh,
town
well,
meeting.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried.
So there, you know, as Crystal can attest much better than I, the Board of Selectmen have been talking about it. They've been talking about it with town attorneys. They're trying to figure out how they can do this and open it up to as many people as possible, because we've all known from past things that you have to make these things as open as you can, so that nobody can say anybody was trying to do something without the whole town knowing. So with that said, in lieu of going to Celebrating Ag, where ironically this year we would have had an active project to talk about, we've created the normal PowerPoint presentation that we give at the town meeting, and that's going to be our entry into Celebrating Ag. So if you want to know more about it, you can check out there. There's a lot more pictures. And the list of all the committee members is up. And if it generates more questions, Crystal knows how to get to me, and I'll answer them all. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the vote of support. Thank you all for the hard work you do. And I'll see you at Town Hall, right?
Thanks, Dawn.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you for
Stay safe.
your efforts, Dawn. 'Cause
Thank
know
you.
you're your head.
Thank you.
Okay, next, approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve our minutes?
I don't recall, maybe I got them a long time ago.
Yeah, Grace sends
Yeah,
them
you
like a
do.
week after the meeting. Anyone?
Did anybody read them? I see a Jen.
Bueller?
Sorry, I wasn't at that meeting, so I don't.
I wasn't there either.
Okay, this is Ruby Sinkowski. I'll move to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second them. Grace.
Gene, any discussion?
I'm still trying to find them.
They're posted on the town website.
Looking. Oh, doesn't go back that far. Does anybody want to look at them? I'll pull them up on the town website.
I'm looking at them right now.
You want to put them up?
Well, actually, I'm looking at them on my desktop and I'm doing the meeting on my laptop. So I've got the two
Oh,
computers side by
okay.
side.
Oh,
Sorry.
sure, she cheats.
I've got 3 monitors going right now. I can pull them up real quick if you want.
I'm getting there. On the website, government, boards and commissions. The agendas, 2020. That would be 7/27.
Yep.
One would hope, yeah.
Okay, I think I've got them up now.
Yep.
Sharing the screen.
Okay. keep trying to scroll down. Okay, I'm all set. Thank you, Crystal.
Okay, any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Any
Aye.
Any opposed? We got a couple abstentions.
Mara abstains.
More abstains. Okay, chairman's report, chairperson's report. I did contact the Woodstock RNC chairman, asking if he could send any interested parties to be members, but no one's come forward. So maybe a lost cause. Treasurer's report. Anything
was
changed there,
the same.
Grace?
Yeah, it's the same as it was. It's $1,914 in the budget and $2,161.10 in the special.
Okay, any questions for our treasurer? Nope. Okay, you get any communications, Grace?
I had asked Crystal if she might check for me.
I did check. We have something from Aquarian Water Company
Oh.
about nominating for environmental champions.
Mhm.
We have something from National Domain wanting us to pay for our domain name listing. I don't know if that just might be junk mail.
I think we had discussed that was kind of a bogus thing we didn't need to address.
Yeah, I think oftentimes it is.
Yeah.
We got a guide to farm fresh food. I did put the link to this on the town Facebook page, and it's on the Newtown website. But
And
it's
I
a nice,
put it on our website as well.
it's a nice book with local farms.
Mhm.
And we got
The region, yes, Crystal, is that Farm Fresh book. This is Jean. It's a Farm Fresh book, a regional thing or for the town? A
it's
state?
for northeastern Connecticut,
Oh,
Jean.
nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. And the link and everything, so you can get it, is on our website, and it has all of Woodstock's in there. So it's comprehensive. It's really nice.
And finally, we got
Thank you.
Connecticut Wildlife.
Okay,
Seeing as you're generally the one that takes that, Crystal, have at it.
okay, old business, no DRC report. Anything, Jean?
In terms of the development review? No, we
Yeah.
have not reviewed anything. Did you send that memo to Jeff with your signature on it? I worded it for you.
You had sent it the day, I didn't resend it.
We had discussed at our last meeting that it was going to go, as not my opinion, but the opinion of the Conservation Commission. So I reworded it, put your name on it. You just need to just sign it to send it in. Perhaps it didn't make it to you or it got buried in your email. It was basically the same thing I said anyway, so.
Okay, I see it, so I'll send that to him.
Has that, that was reviewed last night, was it not? They had the meeting on that last night? Or Thursday night?
Yeah, I did the Zoom posting for that meeting on Thursday.
So did they approve the three lot subdivision?
This is the one off of Senexit Road.
It's correct.
Okay, I remember them discussing it. I know that I believe Sid brought up your communication. I don't remember it was a very long meeting. I don't remember what they decided.
Okay. It'll be in the minutes.
Yeah.
At least we shared our opinion, whether it came from me or everybody jointly. They got that information.
Yes.
Great. Okay, Crystal, anything else with open space?
I think Dawn covered everything.
Okay, P and Z. I don't have the Thursday meeting yet. There was another meeting before that. There's some community pushback on that gas station. I don't think they came to a decision on it yet.
I believe that was extended. They wanted more time to update some of their information. So I believe they might be having a meeting Thursday this week on that specifically. No? Crystal, you stopped talking. Your lips are moving, but nothing of sound's coming out.
Sorry, the gas station will be discussed at one of their September meetings.
September, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I got the Maple Crest info from Dawn. That just came through. Okay, Grace, anything with the Ag Commission?
No, they still haven't managed to meet.
Okay, Ruby, anything? Beth, anything with stewardship?
Mara?
We are waiting to get in touch with a property owner to do our next visit. The property, the 50-acre wood property on Pond Factory Road, I still need to go check it out to see if there was any storm damage. But I am communicating with volunteers via the Facebook page.
Okay, Jean, anything pollinator pathway?
It will be in the magazine October 3rd. There'll be shifts of people invited to come on my property. It'll be scheduled so we can control the numbers of people at a time. They'll get the little mini spiel about pollinator pathway projects, and then sent on a scavenger hunt that should take them about a half hour to walk around. I only have 5 acres of property. Hopefully get them to be inspired looking for caterpillars or using iNaturalist or something. And Last Green Valley is co-hosting this with me, and Jordan said he could help out, and I think I could get some of the rangers to help out with logistics and stuff, because I'm going to have to be the one that's talking about the trifold, which is still, I have the trifold. It's still got the 3 posters on it that I made for celebrating ag last year. So I don't have to update that at all. Just reuse the same one and hopefully get more people interested in the project. I also talked to Rick over at Roseland Park, and they have this beautiful garden that they put in off of Arbison Road. I think they call it the Peace Garden or something. So basically it's a meadow planted with wildflowers as a Boy Scout project. And I'm going to put that onto the map eventually as a stop on the pollinator pathway. And as I said, path or pollinators in their next In Touch magazine in the winter edition. So I'm sure that they will be talking about this initiative. And I'm promoting this initiative as well in the NatJog project. So I'm building a bigger audience, not just locally. So we're making as much progress as we can make in a pandemic.
And just so you know, Jean, I'm adding the pollinator /pathway.org newsletter. They came out with their August newsletter, and I put that on the website. And as they send it to me, I'll just keep our website updated with their most recent activities.
Awesome. And then I believe we had agreed that for our Celebrating Agriculture Day contribution, we were going to send them at least a link to the video of
Yeah.
the presentation that Louise gave. So I don't know who to send it to. I don't know who coordinates that. Maybe Maura knows.
She fell off.
Yeah, it's,
Maura, are you still?
Oh, there she
I'm
is.
here. I'm here.
There she is.
It's Claire Fatecki. I don't know how to say her last name, and I could give you her email. Or
Please.
I can give you the email of wherever you're supposed to send it, because I just got something actually the other day on that, where to send it.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna send, that we're interested in developing a pollinator pathway, and we don't want to stop at the border, and anybody who wants to join us can join in, which I think the message was stated that way the night of the presentation.
Okay, Crystal, Sustainable Connecticut.
This Friday from 1 to 2 p.m., Sustainable Connecticut is having their 4th in their social justice series, Unpacking Equity to Create Community Impact. This is the last one of their 4-part series, and the topic is Building Our Future Communities with Transformative Justice, and I can send that link on to anyone who might be interested in joining.
Hey. Okay, we talked about Ag Day. So communicate or notice of any upcoming workshops, or anyone go to any workshops?
Me.
Grace, you got?
I'll let Grace go first.
No, actually, the land trust meeting was over at Goodwin, and we did a nice little walk around with Steve Broderick and the latest DEP foresters. It was very interesting to see the difference, how they've managed, as he said, Goodwin's been managed for, I guess, the last 40 years, and it has paid off. It was nice. We had under the pavilion, we had their meeting. So, as I say, we are making some progress.
Which land trust was that, Grace?
ECLA,
Eastern
Help
Forest
me, Beth.
Association.
Eastern Connecticut Forested Landowners Association.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
As I say, it technically was their annual meeting, and it was interesting because there was some rather heated discussion on some use of herbicides. But again, that's another whole issue to be done with. But it was very nice to see people out there and participating and interested in what's going on. So.
Hey, Jean, you got
Hi.
something?
I do. Maybe Maura can do the one from the New Roxbury Land Trust, but I wanted to extend an invitation. We've already all received it. Ruby's already accepted it. I will be giving a presentation tomorrow evening at 6:30 on the NatJog Healthy Watershed Plan. And I'll be joined by Connecticut DEEP, who are going to talk about the actual numeric evaluation of the watershed condition. And then my part is to come up with a plan to keep it in a healthy condition using non-regulatory, cost-effective means. So anybody who is interested in the subject, because it involves a third of our town, I just need you to send me an email at jean.pillow@comcast.net and let me know if you want to participate on Tuesday night beginning at 6:30 or Wednesday morning beginning at 10 a.m.
Jean, this is Crystal Adams. I'd like to join you tomorrow night, but I am hosting a 7 p.m. WPCA Zoom meeting, so I will not be able to join you.
I'm jealous. No. WPCA. Okay. So anyway, I will be going over this plan, and in another hat as the Water Quality Monitoring Program Coordinator for the Last Green Valley. The volunteers finished 10 weeks of monitoring in the Nat Jog watershed. We had 7 monitoring stations. None of them were in Woodstock. We did Bungie Brook in Eastford just before it flowed into the Still River. We did the Still River in 3 locations, starting in Eastford Center and going down to just before it goes into the Natchog. We did Bigelow Brook, which goes out of Eastford, and when Bigelow Brook and Still River come together, below that is the Natchog River. And we monitored the Natchog River in 2 places. And the outcome of this year's monitoring, unfortunately, showed high loads of E. coli bacteria coming out of Bungie Brook, and that carried all the way down. So I can't say the other streams have impairment issues other than what's coming from Bungie Brook, because Bigelow Brook was really nice, and Still River was pretty good above Bungie Brook, and then it got really high after Bungie Brook came into it. So there's a lot of ag land in Eastford, but there's also a concern because the numbers were high in Bungie Brook when it wasn't raining. So when you have a high background concentration during dry weather, it kind of suggests there could be an illicit discharge into the brook someplace. And I don't know where it is, but I just know that we found that Bungie Brook was not in good shape where we were monitoring it in Eastford at Millbridge Road. So that's going to be reported to the DEEP, and hopefully it'll lead to some follow-up activity as we look for the source of that E. coli that's causing the brook to be not meeting recreational water quality standards. And what really bothers me is that there's 4 campgrounds along the Natchog River, and a very popular activity in those campgrounds is tubing. So kids get in tubes and they are swimming in that. So if it's human in origin, it needs to get cleaned up.
Hey, Maury, you got one?
I attended a workshop by the 3 foragers over on Camp Road. I don't remember the name of the preserve, but it was the New Roxbury Land Trust Preserve. And I thought we were actually going to be walking around, although there are no trails, but I think it was easier for them to just go around and try to find some things, because there wasn't an extreme amount of things to forage at this time of year in the drought. So, but it was very interesting. She was a wonderful speaker. I'm sorry, I don't know her name. She passed out a resource list for wild foods in New England, guidelines for picking wild edibles, and a nice autumn foraging checklist. So it was really interesting, and talked a lot about trees and mushrooms and all kinds of things that you can forage. So it was very informative.
I'm going to definitely try the spice bush leaf tea and see if it tastes like chai.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Okay, I have an upcoming workshop on Saturday, October 17th. The Connecticut Land Conservation Council is having a virtual conference. But the agenda's to follow, so I haven't gotten any details of how you sign up at all, but it sounds like an interesting conference. Just pencil that in.
Say that again, Lee. Who was it?
The Connecticut Land Conservation Council,
Oh, okay.
Saturday, October 17th.
COCC. Okay.
believe Maura has Crystal has something to bring up.
I have 2 items to bring up for new business. The first is John Filchuk from NECOG contacted our first selectman about appointing a drought coordinator. And I've got some information on that. So this is due to the extreme drought that we're in. And they would like each municipality to appoint a drought coordinator. And this person would be responsible for monitoring local conditions on the ground and transmitting and receiving information to and from state agencies. Says ideally the drought coordinator is someone in tune with local resources affected by drought, such as fire suppression ponds, agriculture, rivers and streams, golf courses. Thank you, Jean, for putting that map up. Private wells and so forth. So this person can be a member of a commission or a committee. It can be a teacher, it can be a volunteer, fire department member, a farmer, anyone who has like an interest in doing this kind of work. So it's a voluntary position, and I could send more information out to anyone who would like it.
There's more to it with what I read, as I followed up with what you sent me from NECOG.
Yeah, I just tried to condense it and not read the whole thing.
There's a part about passing an ordinance, a drought ordinance. So if there is a drought, they could put restrictions on certain types of water uses, like washing your car or watering your lawn during the day, things that will reduce water usage. There does need to be education and outreach component to this, because most people, I was telling Crystal this before, I put this map up on one of the local Facebook group pages, and someone said, well, I have a well and a septic system, so what I take out, I put back in. But perhaps that is to some degree true, but if she's pulling it out of a deep aquifer and putting it in the surface, a lot of that's going to be lost. And if you do watering, that evaporates. So that's taking water out of the groundwater and putting it up into the atmosphere. So there does need to be education on the part of the people who live in the town, just to be good stewards to our streams. I have been out collecting data in some circumstances, and we have a lot of dry stream beds. I mean, there's absolutely no water in the brook that goes between Black Pond and Bungie Lake. It's dry as a bone. The groundwater level's gone below the stream bed, so there's no flow. So everything in that stream has been desiccated, and it'll be a long time before that population is restored if we don't get water. But I'm hesitant to take this on because it means I have to search, because I was involved in that for a while. But I don't know the status of them. I know next door the pond is really low, so I don't think they'd be able to pull too much water out. So just thinking about how our behaviors impact those resources. We don't have a lot of tanks underground to hold water for fire suppression. We do rely on streams, rivers, and ponds to fill the tanker trucks that have to relay the water to fight a fire. And if those streams are dry, it increases the amount of time before they can respond if they have to drive further to find water. So this is a critical issue. And, I believe that this is important because it's actually one of the roles of a conservation commission to come up with a drought management plan. It's one of those, we may do this. And I'm hoping that we can find someone who's willing to take this on. I would support it, but I wouldn't want to be the person who's responsible, because I can't take on any more stuff.
Jean, this is Beth. What's involved in that? Like, what does that person have to do?
I can send you the information I have if you'd like, Beth.
Sure.
It seems to me that you should be familiar, or at least have communications with the 3 fire chiefs for the fire departments in town, to ask them what their that's the status of their fire suppression water supply is. Because that to me is, people are not going to care about the fish and the bugs that are no longer in the streams that are dried up, but they will care if they can't put a fire out at their home if it catches on fire. So that would be, you know, talking with them, just checking local streams. You have one in your, this is Beth I'm talking to, right?
Yeah.
You have a stream in your backyard. How's Millbrook?
The stream in my backyard is very dry.
Yeah. And so knowing that is important information. And then I would think posting once a week if during a drought to remind people about it. And I also believe that we should spearhead the town to pass the ordinance about restricting water uses during times like this, which they've already have a draft ordinance that we would just need to tweak to make it appropriate for our town. But this is something the Conservation Commission should be supporting. And in years like this, it's really important.
Can you bring us the wording for our next meeting, and then, you know, we could vote on it and take it to the selectmen? Because it's going to get, unfortunately, I've read some of the global warming map predictions, and New England looks like it's going to take a hit with a pretty long-term drought.
Right. So there are things that would not be impacted by, you know, a drought ruling, like agriculture. You can still water the cows and you can, you know, water your crops and stuff, but people should not be watering their lawns, because that's just taking the water out of the ground and putting it up into the atmosphere. That's going to be a hard sell for some of the people who have highly manicured lawns with irrigation systems. Yeah, it's a big deal, and we really should be doing this. And I think there's a way to do this to get people to buy into it, and that would be to show pictures of streams with dead fish in it or something. In little interviews with the fire chiefs about the water suppression supply, you know, and extended time. We can work to educate people using short videos and putting them out through different social media accounts, including the town one. I would sure the town want this, Crystal.
You broke up there, Jean. I didn't hear what you said.
The town of Woodstock has a Facebook page. They would approve of advertising drought issues on that Facebook page. So, and I was saying, do little mini interviews with the fire chiefs and their concerns, fire danger, stuff like that. It can be done pretty easily, just using your cell phone, doing an interview and then uploading the video. But, you know, just getting people to understand that, yeah, you have a well, but if you pull water out of your well and it draws the water table down, the neighbor's well might have, their well pump might not be pulling any water. Crystal knows all about that. So, yeah, we have a serious issue right now.
Hey, we'll keep that on our old, there'll be an old business agenda, and, you know, us coming up with a ordinance or something to take the selectmen would be useful.
As I said, Lee, they already have a template, and it's not that difficult to adapt it.
No, the selectmen have it, or for us to?
NECOG sent out a template.
Okay, so just have that ready for us next meeting. Or send it to me and I'll tweak it.
This is Beth. I have something for the previous events that I didn't get a chance to share. Goodwin Conservation Center and CFPA are starting to offer socially distanced, masked in-person programs. Registration required. So you can check out ctwoodlands.org. There's some webinars too. Upcoming wildlife, forestry, all sorts of stuff. So, and the other thing is we did have to cancel Coverts 2020 because of COVID-19, and it's a weekend where you share food and lodging with a bunch of people, so we just couldn't make that safe. But we are offering a one-day event on September 18th at Sessions Woods, and the event will focus on managing your woodland for wildlife. And so we're going to see a lot of different aspects of Sessions Woods in Burlington and how they managed for all sorts of different wildlife there. We're going to hear from Pete Picone, who's a deep forester, as well as Tom Worthley, who's an extension forester, and the couple of the new service foresters, Andrea Urbano and Frank Servo from Deep as well.
He is the wildlife program. He's a really good guy, Pete Picone. And I've slept at Sessions Woods once.
I don't
Kristen, you
know
got
whether that
something
was
else?
cut out, but
We really don't want to know about that, Jean.
I was a Cub Scout leader and my boys were going on a camporee. So I slept in a tent at Sessions Woods.
All right, I have
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
two quick things. Beth, are you interested in being the drought coordinator?
I'd like to hear what's involved first, but because I do have that stream in the backyard, I'm always thinking about, what's going on with the water table. So I'm curious, I'll say.
All right, I'll send you the information that I got from them. Also, for an item of new business, somebody came in last week and they brought in a map to show me some town-owned land on Center Road, close to the intersection of Center and 197, where Center crosses over and becomes Lion Hill. And I just didn't know if we have a list of town-owned land, so I could check out how large those parcels are that he was talking about.
Yes, there is a list of town-owned land.
Okay, can you send that to me?
I don't know that, I don't have it on this computer. I'd have to find it. But I remember that parcel on Center Road. I think it was a wetland. And I think we had a discussion years ago between conservation and open space. And we felt that, we'd have to really have a really good reason to not have it stay open space. So I mean, this was something that we had voted on years ago. So I don't know if somebody is interested in purchasing the land. I don't know.
Yeah, he just didn't know if we knew about it, and it was the first I had heard about it, so I thought I'd just follow up and find out a little more about the parcel.
I'll see if I could find it on the NECOG GIS so I can show you where it is.
Oh,
I know it's on Center Road. I've looked at it. I think it's about 15 acres, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Jean.
Okay, open discussion. Crystal, you got anything else?
Nope.
Ruby?
Nothing.
Beth? And
No.
let the record show Jordan joined us. Jordan, you got anything to bring up?
No, sorry, nothing.
Jean, anything?
No, but I'm interested if Jordan wants to come to the meeting tomorrow night or Wednesday for the Natchog watershed plan. Would you be interested in listening in or not?
What time is it at?
Tomorrow night at 6:30 or Wednesday at 10 a.m.
I might be able to make tomorrow night at 6:30.
All right, I'll send you an invitation. Thank you.
Hey, Maura, you got anything?
I do. About a month ago, a couple of friends of mine put in turtle crossing signs over at on Old Turnpike by Still River Marsh. It's a notorious area for turtles and people go really fast. So Paula Coughlin and Dan Coughlin talked with Rick Navarro? No.
John
John
Navarro.
Navarro.
John.
And so they checked with the town and he was actually going to help them, but he didn't end up doing it. I think he got busy or something. And they put in a couple of stakes and Paula, I wish I had the pictures, but they're on my old phone that died. So I will take more pictures and send them to you guys. They're really awesome. She's an artist, so she did a really good job drawing her own turtle. And so I thought that was great. And I told her I was going to tell the Conservation Commission, and they're going to actually be taking them down. The signs are on metal stakes. They're going to take down the wooden signs when it's not during the season, thinking that will have more impact than just leaving them up all the time. Then people get so used to them that they don't care. So that's really cool. And there's actually spotted turtles that I've seen there. So that's a great place. There's a lot of different turtles there. And I also contacted the highway department to remove a tire from the marsh, which they did. So that's really excellent. John Navarro and his crew. And then also I reported some erosion coming from Taylor Road off onto the Nature Conservancy property. It's pretty, a lot of erosion, and it's constantly the road is, all the silt is getting on, filling in, and it's very near some wetlands. So I have not double checked. Last time I checked, it hadn't been addressed, but I know in the past they have actually come out for other issues like that and put in like either riprap or hay bales, stuff like that. So I'm expecting that they'll probably do it at some point. And then I just wanted to say, Crystal, those Sustainable Connecticut webinars, I got something in, about the newer ones, but they also have all the past ones that you can watch. So I was thinking of actually maybe watching some of those. I think there was one on trash reduction that your town can do called SMART or something. So I'm thinking about doing something like that. So that's it.
Okay.
Good stuff happening.
This is Jean. I have one more thing I wanted to mention. I noticed that the whoever the contractor is for the town applied herbicide again at the guardrails and stream crossings where the wooden posts are. And as I recall, hadn't we requested to get more information about when that was going to happen last year? Well, whatever happened to that?
Who did we contact?
John Navarro.
That's right.
You remember we had people
Yeah.
come to our meeting because the state
Yeah.
had posted they were going
Yeah.
to treat, and then we asked the town, what do they use?
Yeah.
And I don't know
And
what
you
the
didn't know.
outcome of that conversation was, but they did treat again because you could see the patches of desiccated vegetation where they sprayed.
I thought John said the town wasn't responsible for it, it was the state.
This was town roads.
Huh.
Yeah,
So-
I thought he said it was all the state and the town didn't spray too, but maybe we should ask again.
I can see where it is. It's not, I've seen patches on my road. I've seen patches where there's guardrails. I mean, it's a standard operating procedure to do this, but I do recall asking, the Conservation Commission made a request for more information, and I don't know if we ever got it.
All right.
I'm pretty
I'll-
sure he said the state's responsible, that the town didn't do it.
That was last year when it was the state that sent out that notice.
Right.
The town also does the town roads. I believe they
Okay.
hire a contractor. There's a truck that does this.
Okay.
I'll see John tomorrow. I can ask him. However, like if you asked him last year, you might have to ask him every year, like an FOI request where you've got to, have a designated time, not just ask one time and then expect it to be answered into perpetuity. But I can ask him when I see him tomorrow.
Well, so far, no one's come to our meeting and saying, what's this herbicide stuff? Because that's what happened last year. Where we only asked because there was a public outcry after the state sent out that notice. And that's when we asked the town. And I just happened to notice that they had treated the guardrails. I mean, you can't let weeds grow up in the guardrails because they'll destroy the guardrails. I get that. But, you know, I just wondered what happened with that communication. That's all.
All right, well, Crystal will let us know. Grace, you got anything?
No, I think we got it all.
Okay, anything else for the good of the order? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
This is Judy, so moved.
Second,
Who was that?
Jordan.
No, before Jordan.
Jean.
Hey.
Jean.
Okay. Everybody, thanks for coming and stay safe.
I was late.
Yeah.